And we will be talking a lot more about the VRA because there are speculations of a possible shutdown. We'll bring you those details later. But to some other stories, Head of Local Government Service in WA, Dr. Callistus Mahama, has warned to sanction metropolitan, municipal and district chief executives and their coordinating directors who fail to meet the target set in the performance contract. All metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies signed a performance contract on 6 thematic areas on which they will be assessed by the end of the first quarter of 2016. The assemblies may either be suspended, reassigned or demoted. He made a statement during the contract performance signing of the district chief executives and their coordinating directors in WA.
All 11 municipal and district chief executives and their coordinating directors in the region signed a performance contract on behalf of their municipal and district assemblies. The purpose of the signing of the performance contract is to enable all metropolitan, municipal and district assemblies to comply with the provisions of the Local Government Act, Act 462 of 1993, and the Local Government Service Act 656 of 2003. It is also to guide management to set achievable targets and produce results within given time frames. Upper West Regional Minister Amid Suleiman stated that the government is highly interested in the development of the local government system and urged the chief executives and their coordinating directors to adopt pragmatic strategies to ensure that they meet the aspirations of the people they serve.
Over the years, there has been some concern about the performance and output of some of the staff of the local government service in terms of poor services rendered to clients and the general public, despite several reforms that have been introduced in the recent past to improve performance in the service. The system is still characterized with inertia from members of the service, coupled with the fact that there are no benchmarks to measure performance at the local level. This new arrangement is therefore designed as part of a performance management system to improve the efficiency and effectiveness of service delivery to enhance productivity.
All assemblies in the country will be judged at the end of the first quarter of 2016 on 6 thematic areas which are stated in the performance contract. They include 4 top priority areas of the assemblies, implementation of annual action plan, and performance reporting. Head of Local Government Service, Dr. Callistus Mahama, warned failure by the assemblies to implement what is stated in the performance contract will result in sanctions for the chief executives, coordinating directors and their subordinate officers.
The sanctions are individual and collective. So first, because we are assessing the performance of staff and the assembly, we are looking at what sanctions can go to individuals, and then collectively, how can the assembly also be pushed to that extent. So the sanctions range from termination of appointment, reduction in, in rank, suspension, reassignment on the individual. When it comes to the assembly, because the direct beneficiaries are the citizens, you cannot punish them. So the political head of that, you have to be held responsible. And that portion of accountability comes from the presidency. We handle this other aspect. And then the presidency also decide whether to renew the appointment of the chief executive or any other sanction that will fall on. So there are deterrents for non-performance.
2 district chief executives.
Let's go back to the VRA. There are speculations that the Volta River Authority intends to shut down the Akosombo Dam due to the continuous dwindling of the water level in the dam. But speaking to Joy News editor Israel Lai yesterday, Samuel Fletcher indicated that the water level in the dam has improved. So what is informing the possible shutdown, and what have the levels changed? Joining me on the phone is Joy News editor Israel Lai, who was on tour with engineers of VRA on some of their facilities. Israel, thanks for joining us. Is it true that the VRA is considering a shutdown?
No, it's not true. They have repeated it several times, and it has to do with these. I'm talking about people who have to take the decision, people in authority at VRA, and they would continue to insist that it's not going to happen. And the reason why they say that is you don't want to shut the dam completely, especially because the water is necessary or is needed downstream. If you shut down the dam, what it means is that there's no water flowing downstream. Do you appreciate that? I mean, to that extent, the VRA does not intend to shut down the dam. They're saying worst case scenario, they're going to operate just 2 turbines. There are 6 turbines at the Akosombo Dam, and they're going to operate just 2 if it happens to be the case. Yesterday, I actually asked that question because we have seen a decline in the level of water, and it's been declining for some time now, except that they're saying that it is not declining as fast as it used to. And because of that, they've actually been able to add on an additional turbine. So they're running 5 units, at the moment. If the situation was that bad, they would probably have had to reduce it to the 2. But to shut down, they're saying it's not going to happen.
Israel, quickly, yesterday we know that you were on tour with engineers there. What else did you observe?
Well, apart from the Akosombo Dam, we were at several other installations of the VRA. We visited at least 4 sites. We were at the cement plant, which is being built in Tema, and that should bring on some 38 megawatts of electricity sometime in November. And then we also were at the Boom thermal plant, which will bring on some 220 megawatts. We were also at the Bong Hydro Station, which is the other dam we have apart from Akosombo and then Bui. And there they're doing retrofitting of the turbines there, and that's going to take a lot longer. But that's not going to add an additional, or that's not going to add to the generation capacity we have, except that it would make the plant a lot more efficient.
Okay, that's Joy News editor Israel Lai. He toured some of the plants at the with the VRA at their sites, facilities across the country, including Bong. And the news is that they are not going to shut down the Akosombo Dam. Worst case scenario, they'll operate only 2 of 6 turbines. Now let's move on to other stories. And residents of La Palmwine Junction are accusing the Dadekotopon Municipal Assembly of bias in the execution of its duties. The residents say they have received threats of an impending demolition exercise scheduled at dawn on Friday, 24th July. According to the residents, a fuel station close to their residence has been spared, while their buildings have been earmarked for the exercise. Isaac Na speaks for the La Palmwine residents.
Yeah, we heard that they are coming to demolish here. And we don't know. They started by saying that here is a fraud-prone area. But since we have been here for 45 years, we have never experienced such a thing before. Then later, they came that we should produce our permit. And what we know is, when we started the work here, you know, we did the permit, everything. And upon that, when they had the landman had the municipal, they transfer all our files to them. So still, they are billing us. We are paying the, you know, the property rate. There's a filling station around here. We came here recently. And you know, where the filling station is, it's not good. But we know he is behind our removal here. So we are suspecting him. The owner of the filling station, they said is one retired Major Tando. And the way things are going, as if the municipal chief executive is supporting the man to inject us from here, because every time we went to him, he will tell you different story. Well, we have nowhere to go because we have wife and children. Our children are attending school, paying school fees and so forth. We are here. We have masters. We have workers here, more than 100 workers, and now they want to displace us. So we don't know where to go.
And you're still here with me, Francisca Kakra-Forson, on News Desk on Joy News on Multi TV. We are taking a quick break. We've been talking about a lot of stories, elections in Korte-Kloile constituency of the NPP in possible limbo. There's an application for an injunction, and also we know of the confirmation of an injunction for primaries at Kwesi-Mintim constituencies. And we heard from the VRA, we heard Joy News editor Israel Lai saying that they will not shut down the dams. I'm Francisca Kakra-Forson. We'll be back with more.